I'm going to select one easy Leetcode problem and one medium Leetcode problem, and I'm going to set a time limit for how quickly I solve these problems. So the time limit will be 45 minutes. I'm gonna have to pull back up the clock that I had here. And once I click start, I will select pick one and then see how it goes. You are given an array of unique integers, salary, where salary is the salary of the ith employee. Return the average salary of employees excluding the minimum and maximum salary. Answer within that of the actual answer. Answers within that of the actual answer will be accepted. Okay, so this is an average. So let's see this example. So output here is 2,500. The max is 4,000. The minimum is 1,000. And then you just take the average of the non-minimum and non-maximum numbers, and then you get your salary. Okay. And then really you just sort of remove, or you can just sort of remove those values there from salary. Now, I guess the first question is like, yeah, okay, it says they are all unique integers. So that's good to know. So we can probably make this a little more efficient using a set. So, or even like I don't know why I can't think of the name of a min and maxi, min or maxi, and then just pop them in, pop the max, and then do it like that. And then after you pop the min or max, iterate through the heap, add them up, divide them by 2, and we're done. So let's try that. I have to import collections to actually get the heap from Swift. And if I say heap equals heap integer, and let that be salary. And then I'll say heap dot pop min heap dot pop max. Then I'll say I'll create a total value. And I'll say for value in heap equals 0. Total value plus equals value. I don't think Leetcode is just going to let me use plus equals. We'll see. And then once I have that, I will take result value equals total value divided by heap dot count. And I can really just make this return. The other thing to consider here is that these are ints. I don't know that int is going to really work out with like the salary problem per se, especially when we start talking about dividing and stuff here. But I mean, it should, dividing, I shouldn't have to convert this to or maybe, I don't know. We'll see. Or better yet, to be safe, let's double and cast this to double as well. And let's try to run. Okay. 11. Oh, goodness. Okay. Yeah. Let's try that again. For loop heap, conform to sequence. Okay. I had a feeling that might be the case. So I may have to like just do a pop. I'll say like while I'm able to pop the value, we'll do that. Okay, so I'll say while hold on, let me think about this for a second. If I so I'll say like for, I just need a way to in 0 to heap dot count, and I do heap dot pop min. It could be pop max, it doesn't matter. I just need to add the values. And then this is, I believe this returns optional, so I have to just use 0 if there's no value here. And then once we're at the end of that, we will do the same thing. Let's try that. Okay. Output is infinity. Okay. What did I return here? Oh. Well, I guess first thing is, let's just hold on to this heap count, because I'm changing the heap as I'm, let's do that. And we'll say heap count, and then use that for this as well. Let's try that. Cool. Hit submit. Okay. There we go. That was the easy question. Took a little, about 10 minutes. Let's see if we can get to the medium question and then finish that in good time. Okay. Algorithms, difficulty medium. Pick one. All right. Merge nodes in between zeros. Okay. You're given the head of a linked list, which contains a series of integers separated by zeros. The beginning and end of the linked list will have value equals 0. For every 2 consecutive zeros, merge all the nodes lying in between in between them into a single node whose value is the sum of all the merged nodes. The modified list should not contain any zeros. Return the head of the modified linked list. Okay. So you have 4 and then 11 in this first example. So you get rid of all these zeros. Then you get rid of all these zeros as well, and you're essentially just adding these values. I feel like there would be some difficult edge cases with this. Let's see. 1, 3, 4. Okay. So they say the end will always be 0. The beginning and end of the linked list will have 0 values, so that's good. Because that would, yeah, that's good. Let's see. So I have a linked list. I'm merging the nodes. So I guess I would need a sort of a blank list. Start with a blank list. If now I'm trying to think, would I just keep going next until I hit a 0? I guess so, because I know I'm starting at 0. Then I do while head.next is 0. Or maybe while head.next is not 0. I continue to go through and maybe add each of those values that aren't 0 to some sort of result. And then the apparent result after I've reached the next 0. And then I do it again, like after I've reached that 0, and I just keep going until, okay. I'm just trying to think of the best way to, because I get the gist. I'm trying to think of the best way to actually go about doing some of this. I mean, I could do it recursively. That might be easier to just go through like that, and then when I hear it hit a 0 in the recursion, or really when I hit nil in the recursion. But I have to really keep track of when I hit 0. Okay, so let me type out the solution and kind of see. It's sort of, because I get logically what has to be done here, but in terms of implementation is a little bit tricky in my head. So I know like or I'll just say recursion, and then while, basically say while, or I'll say base case anyway. Base case would be head equals nil, and then if head is nil, then I just return result node head. So after that, I need to know when I hit a 0, and then when I hit a 0, so basically if head.val is equal to 0, then I save. First of all, I save added values, and then I do head.next, and then prepare to save next values. Then if we're at the end, we hit nil and then, okay. But that's sort of, I mean, this is sort of the gist. Recursing is basically going to be head.next. So I mean, it's kind of going to be, well, there's a difference. let me see. You know what? I guess at this point it might be best for me to just start typing and then sort of resolve some of this stuff, because I mean, at this point I'm starting to write code anyway. So, but this is sort of the gist. Like, you with recursion, you kind of get the base case. You're on your way a little bit to solving the problem. So let's see. So I know I want to have some recursion happening here. I need like a result node, or like a node that's taking all of the, just getting the copy. Do I want to return? No, let's do a global variable. Let's say result equals, or result list node equals list node. Let's just keep it empty, or yeah, we'll do that. And then set it to the first value there, where I have the base case of nil. Okay. All right. And then I also need some sort of result adding mechanism. So let's say like current result equals 0, or I say like current sum equals 0, and I just reset it each time. Yeah, I'll do something like that. Okay. So if head is equal to nil, return. Then if head dot value is equal to 0, we would take result we would create a list node. So let me see. This is next. This is result dot, having to copy this is a little bit. For now, we'll just say result equals list node. Then was it value? Was it val? That's there. That is what? Yeah. And then the initializer. Yeah. So I don't even need the vals. So list node is current sum. And probably put return there too. And then with head.val, current sum plus equals head dot val, and then DFS head dot next. Then keep doing that. Now the only thing, and I don't know why I'm hung up on this, because it feels like it should be an easy thing for me to do. Maybe this is just me, you know, not having the experience I need to have with these linked lists, but actually making the copy seems a little bit tricky. And the reason it seems a little bit tricky is because, you know what, I kind of know what I can do, actually. But the reason it's tricky is because it's hard to know, at least in my head, when to set as the first node and then when to set as next. But I think I know how to do that. If result is equal to nil, and set it equal to this. Else result dot next equals that. And then we set the current sum equal to 0 so that it can reset and we can, do it again, do the adding again. So I think that's it. Let me sort of look through this for a second. Oh, well, let me actually call this stuff. Let's do DFS head and then return result. Okay, so now let me look through it. Head equals nil. Then return head dot value equals 0, and then set the current sum as the value, and then reset current sum. If value is not 0, then we append it to that sum and then continue to recurse by going to the next value. This should be it. Yeah. Let me go ahead and give it a try. Optional list node. All right. Okay. Line 36. Yeah. And then with this line 46 is value of optional list node must be, okay, so basically the same thing. Oh, I see. And I need to, let's do that. Let's do that. I probably do it up here too. Let's try to run this. Output 0 expected for. How would 0 ever get appended? Let me see. Current sum 0. Head.val. Let me see. Maybe at some point, maybe I shouldn't have. Okay. Val head.val equals 0. Current sum. Oh, okay. So, I mean, I guess in this situation, we do want to continue to recurse. And that's what I'm missing here. Like, we reset current sum, but we should continue to, yeah. So I think that's what I'm missing. So do head.next. Let's try it. Still wrong. Okay. Well, at least now we've got 0 and 11. So some point in the beginning, I'm doing something that is wrong, where I'm not adding these two values to get 4. So yeah, and I believe it's right here too. I think at some point, yeah. So I need something here for like my 0 logic to, yeah. So if this equals 0, I might need an index to pass in just so that I know, like, if the index, like if it's the first index, then I just skip it. I just continue. So that could be like a conditional thing, or I can initialize it with, I could initialize it with like that second value. So I can just start with, instead of doing this, I know. Well, no, I don't. No, I can't really do that. I can't. Yeah. So I kind of need to know if it's the first index. So I'll add this I for index int, and I'll say 0. And then in both situations, I am adding the current sum. So if I just say if I does not equal 0, then skip this part and then continue. Okay. If I does not equal, or if I is greater than 0, then do all those things. Yeah. And then I need to append 0, so, or append the index, so index plus equals 1. And then here, do index plus equals 1. And don't really need to do it for the last case there up here. So I think this should be, okay. So it's going to be 0. So okay, yeah. Let's try that. What did I mess up with? I plus, okay, I see. So let me just make this mutable. Equals I. Okay. And then I have to, when I DFS, I have to pass in that index. So I'll just say I, and then here I will also say I. Here we go. Okay, so that is wrong. I have 1. I need 1, 3, and 4. And I just have 1 and 4. Huh. How could I miss the 3? So, okay. I have equals nil a return equals 0. Then I set result. Set the current sum. I wonder if it's possible, and I may need to draw this out, which could be cool. What do I have time? What do I have? 14 minutes? Yeah. Okay. Hmm. Yeah. I may need to draw out what's happening here, and I want to bring my laptop, and I'm worried that if I disconnect my mic, that I'm not going to be able to reconnect it. So I think, let me see. And then how would I draw it out? So basically, I'm missing this 3. So something happens in between when I hit this case that's wrong. So head value equals 0. Then I take the current sum and add it. So that in that case it'd be 1. Then do head.next. It'd be 3. Should be the current sum. Yep, and then head.next 0. There should be result. Oh, okay. I see. So I'm not. I'm basically just replacing next. So I need to kind of recurse with the copy as well. Okay. Let's see. So how am I going to do that? So I need like a. So I take the head, and then maybe I have like a result node. Then once I hit a certain point. Okay. Yeah. So let's just call it like current. So take this, call it current. And then current would basically just start as nil. And then I ultimately, once head is nil, I want to set result equal to current. Then current will be what I update here. So I'll say if current is nil, then yeah, I can just replace it, because what I'm gonna do is once I set the values, it should be just always passing current.next. Current.next. Then where else do I have result? Should be it. Current. Okay. That is another issue too. Like if because I'm supposed to return the head. So if I'm going through current, if I'm continue to do current.next, current.next, I don't have the head. So it needs to be more frequent, probably in which at the times in which I'm setting result. That makes this a lot harder to have to return the head. What I could do, I'm kind of wondering if this will work. It might. Instead of doing this, I can just do in out and then pass result in this way. So I'm able to retain the values. And then ultimately, this should allow me to return the head of result. So what happens with current is basically going to be the same as result, because it's the same, is referencing the same object. So it's the theory with that. Let's see how well that works. All right, let me run. Can I pass mutable in and out? List node argument. Okay. Let's try the reference here. And same thing here. Hey, Bola.
Hey, don't stop on this video. Hey, can you help me, please?
Okay. All right. Bye. All right, guys. Well, I got cut short here. If I tried to continue, it'd be kind of, I don't know. It'd be kind of cheating a little bit if I like paused and came back, but yeah. I mean, I'm not going to be able to, kids are back, so I'm not going to be able to continue anyway, but next time we'll see how it goes. I think we're pretty close, so yeah, I'm going to stop here and I will see you all on the next video.